Welcome to this podcast, Holistic Creators, where we share our unique and universal stories about shaping the future for the 4 Ps: people, planet, purpose, and profit. My name is Swanette. I'm a mental coach and your host of this show. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to a holistic future. So welcome. Hello and welcome to my podcast, Holistic Creators. My name is Swanette and I'm your host. Today my guest is Starla Fortunato, and she is a luxury brand content photographer. So welcome to my show.
Thank you so much, Swanette. It's a real pleasure to be here with you today.
Yeah, and I can imagine that a lot of people that are now watching this show think, oh, photographer, I'm so scared to come in front of a camera. And I absolutely had this feeling for myself when I was a younger girl, that every time there was like a family meeting for Christmas and for birthdays, someone was there shooting pictures. And if I look back into these pictures, I think I look like I was even tortured before. And yeah, so most people don't feel comfortable to be in the spotlight. So let us know what you're doing. And this is for sure amazing. You're really brilliant in what you're doing, bringing people into the spotlight and at the same time feeling comfortable. Let us know about that.
So, Swanette, what I'm hearing is that when you were little, something happened to you around the camera. Like many of us are traumatized at a very young age. Something happened. Maybe we were in a family portrait and we wanted to wear an outfit that they said, no, you can't wear that. Or for me, my first family portrait was traumatizing. I wanted to bring my giant pink rabbit that was life size. And when they said I couldn't bring it in the set, I just cried. And that poor photographer who came into the house and set up the background, and I didn't care. I was 9 years old and I was crying my eyes out. And you can see it in the photo because I wasn't allowed to express myself. And as the years went on, I was taking pictures from the age of 10, 11 years old, documenting my family. And I think what was important and what's important for any photographer and also any subject to know is you really need to feel comfortable with the person that that's photographing you, number one. And number two, sometimes we have to revisit if it's really traumatic. Like I've had people freeze up in front of my camera so bad, and most of them are therapists, by the way, that have had the hardest time. I'd say, you need to go deep inside yourself and ask yourself why you're so afraid of being photographed right now. Are you having visibility issues? Is this a PTSD, post-traumatic stress when you're a child? Sometimes we have to get into it. But what I do is while I'm talking and listening, I mostly listen for a little bit to see where people were at, because 90% of the people don't enjoy being in front of the camera because they haven't been lit beautifully and they haven't been made comfortable. So I approach my photo sessions like a first date, and I want my date to feel comfortable and seen and beautiful. If with anything within my power to do that. So when we do our photo shoots, it's always in a beautiful setting. Before my clients walk on set, we're lit. We have a beautiful lighting situation based on their, their face and their brand. So we have everything beautifully in place. And then, so when they sit down, if they're really shy, I'll put something in front of them like a posing table so they can lean in a little bit. And they can maybe use their hands if they're nervous. There's a lot of ways to conquer it. And then I coach throughout the shoot. I direct and coach. And eventually they get very comfortable with my voice. I start showing you the photos and you're like, oh my God. I mean, I've had people cry many times in front of the monitor saying, oh my God, I am beautiful. And my philosophy is everyone's beautiful in the right light. Everyone. Everyone has a sublime angle. And what I mean by that is if you look at the face, you look at your lover, your husband, your wife, your partner, your child, your dog, your cat, whatever, every time that you look at that face like a diamond, multifaceted and cut to perfection. And you look at the face one way, and then it turns and you drop the chin, and all of a sudden it catches the light and it goes bling. That's your sublime angle. And everybody has a sublime angle, at least one. And it just, your photographer needs to move around sometimes to find it. Like for me, my camera right now is placed a little higher. I'm not shooting straight on, just in my simple video camera, because my eyes open more naturally, right? Just even when, just my Zoom calls, I think you should be lit, especially a mature woman and in business, and I'm a luxury brand, so I need to look, camera ready all the time. And so, for instance, like we'll be on Zoom calls with people and we'll have mature, especially, and anybody, their camera will be down below, we'll be looking up through their chin and we see these strange angles of their mouths. And people don't realize how visually uncomfortable everybody gets when you look freaky on the monitor. I mean, and it's not that you're not beautiful. It's just that you just need to work on your camera angles a little bit. So I would, rule of thumb, if everyone raises up their monitor a little bit and has the camera look down on them, it's going to open up their eyes and they're going to look, you're just going to look more attractive and you're going to catch your face in the right light that way. So, and I use that when I'm shooting on set. And it just depends. Like I study the face before I shoot as part of my production. Is I'll study the face and poses and the brand and what their message is. And we do a shot list. And in that shot list, I'm working on angles for the client. So the worst thing you can do or you can experience in a photo session, I feel, is you sit down or you stand up and the photographer said, do your thing. Where's your energy? I've seen that. I rented my studio out in Hollywood for years. I'd have other photographers come in and I'd be straightening up, getting ready to leave. And I'd hear some of these people talk to their subjects that they're shooting and my heart would sink. I'm like, wow, that's rough. Like I would never speak to someone like that. And my assistants, we only say positive. We keep the energy positive. Even if the client is having feelings, I don't shut those feelings down. If they're saying, I'm scared, I'm really nervous, I would say, that's because it matters to you. You're having a feeling because it matters. So it's welcome here. So what does that feel like? Where are you feeling it in your body? Is it in your third chakra? Are you feeling it in your heart? Where is it coming from? Let's breathe into that. Let's breathe into it and just accept it. And when we'll carry on and we'll just keep shooting, and don't worry, it's digital. We'll delete if needed, that kind of thing, as opposed to, what are you doing? What was that? That was weird. Like I have heard photographers talk to, and unfortunately, it happens a lot to women. A lot of these guys, a lot of these younger photographers, they really want to shoot models and they shoot business women for money jobs. And you'll have a different attitude because they're waiting to get to that, the model. That's their thing. And there's no shame in that, but they really should just focus on shooting models and, Instagram girls instead of mature business women that need to be lit properly, like me.
Yeah, wow. And this is so true. Like we all have our experiences with other photographers, and therefore it's like, yeah, we have ideas how this can happen. And I would like to go back into what you already said, like having an idea about who we are. Like when we are children, we often hear that no, we are not beautiful, or no, that, for example, I was too skinny, my hair was too straight, and whatever it was. So I had this idea, uh, I'm not looking good. And then I had problems with my teeth. And so it was always, don't smile, shut your mouth.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it was
Yeah.
very difficult to open up to a camera, and like all this bad self-talk stepped into this. And so for many years, as I said, no, I was really feeling so super uncomfortable. And I hear this from other people as well, like um, they think they are not beautiful, and you say everybody is. It just depends to bring them into the right light and make them show that they are beautiful and magnificent as they are. So
Exactly. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so
You're right, Swanette. You're absolutely.
I want to hear a little bit more. What are like sentences people tell you when they start shooting? Like you said, no, I'm scared, or I don't feel comfortable, or I don't know, for example, how to behave in front of a camera. I can't pose. What are sentences that you hear at the beginning before you really stepped into doing the shoot?
Well, before we shoot, we work out sentences that they say into the camera. So the actual question is, what is your relationship with the camera? What do you want to say to the people that can't wait to meet you? Because here's the problem. Here's the biggest fear about not looking a certain way or not being a certain way is that people aren't going to like us. They're not going to like us. We're not enough. We're not lovable. That's really the main cause of that. We all have it. I don't care who you are. You know, that's why we have directors on movie sets directing A-list actors. They need help too. Why do we have directors on movie sets and we have such skilled storytellers who are in front of the camera? Because everybody needs support. So needing support is natural. One thing will be like, oh, I feel fat. Oh, like you said, I don't like my teeth. Oh, do I look silly? I'll say this, and I learned this from a wonderful woman who wrote a book called The Wealthy Spirit. Her name is Shelley Campbell, and it's how to the wealthy spirit. And what she said, and what I use in my sessions, is this: there are people out there who are not your people. They're never going to ask you to lunch. They're not going to give you the time of day. They're going to walk by you and not see you. Those aren't your people. Those aren't the people that we're addressing today in this photo shoot. Who we're reaching out to are the people who are our people who cannot wait to meet us. They cannot wait. I said, I'm your people. I'm so excited you're here. See how you feel with me? That's how you're going to feel with your people. Effortless. They're going to want to go to lunch. They're going to want to get to know you. They're going to ask you questions. And they want to know who you are because you have a service for them or a product that they have to have. They just haven't found you yet. So the idea is to connect to them. What do you want to say with them? What do you want to say to them right now? And one of the things I like to say is, I cannot wait to meet you. I cannot wait to work with you. I have so many ideas, and you have no idea what you're missing out on, and what you've been missing out on for a long time. And what you feel there is presence. My true presence, my true essence, and that's what connects you to your people. If I'm looking away, or if I'm holding my breath, say deer in the headlight, it's a deer in the headlight. So I remind people always when we're shooting, breathe. Breathe in, breathe in the light, breathe out all the fear. Breathe in the light, breathe out the fear. Some say breathe in God, breathe out self, breathe in whatever spirit, breathe out self. And just kind of focus on that. Breathe in that, breathe out self. And soon you start filling yourself up with the hope that conquers all fear. And we work with that. And the breath is everything. So I think that should make sense to you, especially, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming out of a stage where the reptilian mind will take over. No? So as soon as, or as long as you are in this kind of fight, flight, freeze mode, and then of course stop breathing or only having a short breath, um, everything is like getting stuck and oh, yeah. But when the energy starts flowing again and you feel comfortable, I would even say like, no, what you mean, like flirting with the camera. Then,
Learning is great.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
yeah, and this is like if you have a client and this is your perfect, your ideal client, then you want to connect like if it is a first date and imagine how it would be if you're kind of flirting with this first client. Yeah, so
Just and the way it could be flirting, it could be nurturing, because I'm more of a nurturer, because I feel like people are very vulnerable in front of the camera, and many people have a past with inappropriate things that have happened to them. So my how I work with behind the camera is I stay very appropriate and respectful, but I come in like probably like an old Italian mama is the way. Like I make sure I have little snacks, drinks. I found out before what you're gonna want to sip on. I'll say, hey, would you like some hot green tea? I've got some nice sencha in the back, or do you think you need a little protein? You're looking like you need. So what I do is I'm an empath, and I can tune in very quickly to what they need, and because I'm fully focused, like it's being the type of photography I do is I really need to keep people present because they've it's quite an investment for a photo shoot, a luxury photo shoot. We've invested in a beautiful location. They've invested in a beautiful wardrobe that they've picked out, that they've invested in their brand, and that's really the most important. I think one of the biggest problems with people before while they're having their photo taken, they jump in front of their brand. They may not know who they are, and they say, I need photos right away. And I think my own experience too is I invested in my brand because for years I hadn't, and I was kind of running, I was doing great photography and I was doing entertainment, blah, 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 but and shooting all kinds of different wonderful things, but I wasn't sure, even though it's a luxury brand, I wasn't pricing myself like a luxury brand, and I wasn't pricing myself in my mastery, and I didn't speak of mastery. And I've been doing this for over 35 years. So, and I'm a study of light. I study light. Like I'm always learning about light. Always, my head is always in the fashion magazines because that's where I get most of my inspiration. Or like magazines like Vogue, Global Vogue, not just Vogue from the United States, but like Vogue Spain, Vogue Italia, Vogue Japan, Vogue India. I mean, I'm a very global, like a visual scout. So I like to bring that into the shoot as well. So if you have your brand and you know who you are, we create a beautiful environment that reflects your brand and your colors of your brand. And then we get into the shot list for your website, maybe your blog, maybe your podcast, whatever, we get those little props, we get flowers, we make sure we have the right furniture, very high, high end in your realm. Maybe you're more architectural, maybe you're more Parisian chic, maybe you need something, a bed in the water, shot at sunset on the beach. Maybe you need a 6-foot python snake wrapped around you, because you're a shaman of that nature. All of those things create that iconic look. And when you're in your photo shoot and you've gotten to that point, you're walking through the fear, and you've walked through so much fear to get to that day that you really are open because you know who you are now. And that's what you want to portray in your photos and you want to tell people about. And that's what you're staying present for in your photo shoot.
Yeah, so there's so much work around and before you all start working with people. And what I see as well is, yeah, we need photos for our website, and then we go to a photographer and say, take some good photos of me. And sometimes they look like they can go into our passport, but not on our website.
Well, you can have nice photos, you can have pretty photos, but the idea is when people go to your website and you have 3 seconds for them to establish a connection with you or not. And also another 3 seconds to say, oh my God, she's too expensive. I can't work with this person. Or, oh my God, finally someone really gets quality, beauty, the aesthetic that I'm looking for. So that's what my website, when you log on to my website, you see a behind the scenes photo shoot in St. Lucia with a beautiful man and his wife with gorgeous hair and makeup and wardrobe. I mean, it's really the ultimate shoot. And the thing about your shoot, you can shoot anywhere in the world. We're talking about with Icons International, we're talking about going to Paris. potentially going to Rome, for global brands. LA is fantastic to come. Oh my God, LA, I think, is one of the best cities in the world to shoot in. We have studios of all kinds. You can rent by the hour. We have mansions you can rent by, half day or a full day shoot that have infinity pools overlooking the water or overlooking the Hollywood sign, or we have 50s diners, or we have like a Chinese street scene with neon lights at night, or we have a British phone booth, or we have Parisian chic white chandeliers, or we have blush or teal couches. There's so much to work with here. And it's actually less expensive for people to come to LA to work with us than for us to come to them. And that way, there's beautiful hotels to shoot in. We have world famous hotels. Another idea for once you have your brand down, your brand colors, a wardrobe is also becomes an issue. And my suggestion is this: if you're a mature woman like I was 50, 52, 53. I had gone from a size 4 to an 8 that I struggle to maintain today. Okay. Honestly, it's maintenance to keep the size 8 body that I have now, that I've grown to appreciate, that I have been photographed in, feeling uncomfortable and deciding, okay, I need to hire a stylist. And the stylists that I hire, because in Hollywood, all the celebrities have stylists, every one of them. They all have access to great wardrobes, right? It's true. So I want my clients to have that access as well. So I pair my clients up with the right stylist who understands body types. Another thing that we do here is I have a few couture boutiques who create custom dresses for photo shoots. It take 3 weeks to a month or 3 months, depending on, but we work with the body and we don't hide the body. We don't throw a white t-shirt on it and big bulky clothes, because that looks sloppy. We tailor things like so it's really wonderful to have a stylist, somebody to help you get in front of your closet, put together 3 to 4 fantastic outfits that you feel good in, beautiful, and that the colors work with your skin tones. You love the shoes. What do you get excited about? Are you an earring woman? Are you, a man who likes color, have your shirts tailored, that kind of thing. So are you a statement necklace girl? You have a beautiful statement necklace on right now. I love it. And I love your neckline. It's so perfect. A V is such a great neckline. It really kind of tones everything down a little bit, creates a nice line. So if you're stuck in front of your closet and you're hating your body, it's time to get a stylist. It's time to get some help. And it's also time to get someone who's compassionate and understands how to dress women or men with all types of bodies, not just size 4. Anybody can dress a size 4 or size 2, but then when you dress that size 4 or size 2, are you on brand? Right? And with your brand, it's really important. And then also, once you have your wardrobe down, I always say it's good to have 3 to 4 really great pieces, dresses, if you wear pants, but 4 outfits, because those become your branding outfits when you go out in the world, when you network, when you speak, when you're on podcasts, when you're doing something in the visual world. You're going to go out, you're going to wear one of these outfits and print your dress from head to toe, and you feel fantastic. I have about 6 or 7 of those outfits in my closet. And I know that if I'm feeling a little insecure that day, because we all have those days, that's the outfit I'm going to pick, because I don't feel heavy in it. Even if I have 2 or 3 pounds over, 2 or 3 pounds under, I feel great, So clothes are really important. Wardrobe is really important. Styling is very, very important. And from once you have your clothes organized and your brand and your clothes, your brand style, that's when we look at locations where to photograph you. And so it all has beautiful continuity. You're completely on brand as you walk in, and it's like your party. That's the coolest thing about it. When you're on brand, it's like you are creating People spend so much money on their weddings and bar mitzvahs and quinceañeras and all these really, coming out parties and birthday parties, 50th. But your photo shoot should be like your own party, and you're inviting all of your people. Maybe you invite your stylist. Your photographer should have a hair and makeup person that you've had conversations with before, because hair and makeup is important. Sometimes I really recommend for your hair going to your stylist. There's a whole prep sheet. There's a whole there's a 5-point prep sheet that we have, and we also have a video, a 5-point with the Icons International. Sorry, Icons Incorporated. We have a video that gets you ready for your shoot, because you want to take your time if you can. There's this whole rush experience that, oh my God, I gotta rush. It's like, no, you really need to plan and take your time. You need to get the brand. The brand's going to take a little while. And also you have to ask yourself with your branding, are you a DIY? Are you a do-it-yourself? Are you going to subscribe to this amazing branding company and go through their process yourself and do everything yourself? They're going to open up, give you the keys to their kingdom, as Catherine Horowitz says. She's going to give you the keys to the kingdom, the steps to do it. Are you capable of doing it yourself? Are you too close to it to do it yourself? Or do you need to hire, Catherine, or your brand expert, to walk you through and brainstorm with you and do the high touch work that's required? You have to decide, am I high touch with my branding, or can I do it myself with the guidance? One's more expensive than the other. I'm high touch. I needed to spend money on my branding. I needed to have people come back to me with ideas and how to implement them. I'm not a do-it-yourself gal. I was too close. To my brand for 15 years before I did my first brand. So that was part of it. If we're too close, we can't see. And also the breakthrough of investing in our brand. It's investing in ourselves. We invest in people all the time. We give money away to all kinds of things. We pour money into our business and, computers, equipment, programs, VIP days with other people. But what about us? Why is it so hard for us to spend money on our brand and also to spend money on the stylist and then finally the photography? Because you keep in mind the brand experience, my style that I hired, stylist that I hired, and the photography that I did, that has lasted me since 2017. And the basic format of my website has lasted. I update my photos, but so in 2017, I did a major investment. It was, just under, I would say just under $30,000, which was a lot in 2017 to invest in your brand pre-COVID. And it's still paying off today. Now I do refreshers, but now I can do it myself because I know who I am. And every once in a while, like somebody like Catherine Porritt will come along and say, this is what I see for you. What do you think? And I'll say, you know what? You are right. Like the answer, when you're ready to refresh, when you're ready to do the work, the teacher comes, and you've experienced that, Swanette, because you're the teacher in your world. You say, oh my God, so also another thing is maybe someone, before they need to do their photo shoot, if they have too much trauma, maybe they need to work with you first to uncover the trauma and heal that trauma and reground them into their true essence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this process of really having an understanding who they are, and then, of course, what they want to represent in their branding, and then having the next step, okay, what are the colors that come with this branding? And then going, okay, how do I feel comfortable and have like the clothes and the environment where I can really open myself up and like not being seen as I am. I think this is a long process. And you said you had some time doing this, and I'm in the middle of that at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing to see when you get feedback from the outside that it really lifts you up. Yeah. And I'm going through this course, as you know, and having all this amazing conversation with such beautiful people. And it really helps to get clarity. And especially coming from, yeah, the spiritual side and the science side and the business side. And now I'm opening up again more to the spiritual side. A lot of people in my community are okay. No, we can't charge a lot because it's spiritual work, and we really don't want to be seen. Yeah, so they're kind of hiding themselves so much when at this time this kind of work is so essential, and we need so much support for every human being at this moment. So really stepping out of the comfort zone and become visible and understand who you truly are, and then getting the support to, come on a photo shoot and really show what you're doing. And I've seen the photos with Makosi with the snake, and I thought, wow, super, super brave. But that's her, yeah. This is so
That's
special.
her iconic essence. And the key is when you hit your brand and you got it right, it lights you up. You get lit up. It's like, whoa. When you step into a healing process and you get to the other side, you're lit up. You're lit up. You are divinely inspired. When you get that wardrobe outfit just right, all the colors go bam, you're lit up. And then when you see yourself in that environment, in your world, as Catherine says, in your magic kingdom, you're in this space and you're like, oh my God, look what I've created. Look what I have dared to collaborate with. And this is for me. And it's the most estimable act. And I have had several clients bring their spiritual advisors to the shoot. They call them their smile coach. They called, sometimes I'll have somebody stand, their spiritual advisor, like you, will stand right behind me. And we're both tuning in to that person because they have gone through some things and they need to push through it. And I don't have the tools because it's deeper than I know, because I am a visual spiritual healer. I will show you you're beautiful. But if you're not believing it, if you're so deep down there, there's nothing I could do for you. If you're stuck on something, and I find that the truth, Swanette, and I'll say this on the podcast, which is, I'm going to say it. It's something that you had asked me on the in the questionnaire. You said what maybe something that people wouldn't know, and I will say some of the most difficult clients that have had the most hardest time on set are the ones who are extremely aesthetically beautiful, like everything's lined up, and they focus on, maybe they've done a little Botox and one lip is bigger or one brow is a little higher. I have had people obsess on a brow, a beautiful woman. I've had a woman obsess on a lip. No one in the whole world sees it, but that's all they see. All they see on the screen, big screen, is a big lip, and it's theirs, and it's wrong. So I find that some of the beautiful people who are obsessed with how they look have the hardest time on set because you really can't reach them. One woman in particular, I can't mention any names. She was a model, and she had gone through divorce, and her husband kind of, how do you say, he was really big on trophy wives and to kind of treat women like garbage. Like as soon as they got to a certain age, like over 35, he wasn't interested anymore. And he's in his 60s, 70s, probably 70 now. And she was one of those women. And that sticks with women. And she was an absolute beauty. I mean, one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. She was obsessed with how wrong she was. And there wasn't really anything I can do. She found some photos that she liked. So the hardest ones are the ones that really need to get to you, I think. And the spiritual healers, if they're willing, and some people aren't willing to heal, they just want to relive the drama over and over, you know? which is sad. So that's kind of a little like a peek behind the wizard's curtain every once in a while. I have someone like that probably every 15 years. I've had two people like that in my career that was just wow, and they still love me. They kept shooting with me. They loved me because they felt comfortable with me. One woman, she's very wealthy. She'd come back and shoot with me, but I'd hear the same self-talk over and over, as beautiful as she was and still is. And I think she's pretty messed up from surgeries now, facial surgeries. I don't think she looks like she does anymore because, you know, that's always hard for me to see. Now, I believe in plastic surgery. I completely believe in if there's something that you don't like about yourself that's really bothering you and you really want to clean it up, you go to a proper surgeon and you do it right. But I don't think our faces are constructed to have more than one or two surgeries, you know. If you are absolutely traumatized, maybe that's another piece of the puzzle that you need to talk with someone spiritual. And if there's something you really don't like about yourself, like for me, I was aging very, very there's a like hereditary thing in my family that all of a sudden out of the blue, and I was 40, my neck started dropping. And I had what happened was, which I wish I would have known now, I had fat under my face and it was pulling my whole face down. So I was looking like, at 40, 45, I felt like I looked like I was about 70. So in 2017, I went in and I had, there's a plastic surgeon, a female surgeon that I really loved. I had photographed her. I'd seen her work. I've seen her before and after work. It was very natural. I went in and had my lower, I walked into her office and she said to me, her name's Dr. Lisa Castellitz. She's here in Los Angeles. I love her. And I think this is also something that people may not know about me. And I think it's really good to be honest with women because I'm 60 and I look pretty damn good. It's because I've done some work. And she said to me, Starla, you look amazing. Whose freaking neck is that? I said, this is an inherited neck. And I said, she goes, so that's all you want, right? Because everything else is good. Because that's how she works. She won't overdo things like is overdue is a big thing in Beverly Hills. You see it, the windblown look all the time. People walking around, and that's not really my look. I like the European look. Just age as naturally as you can in a beautiful way. Like leave lines. I think lines are sexy. There's a travel stories, you know, loves and losses. So she said, so we cleaned up my neck. We did a neck lift. And she took off 5 inches underneath my neck. 5 inches of skin. She said, my God, we got so much on. So now I have my jawline. So and I had another friend, she went in and did it after me, and she had some other things done, and it was great. But that's where I stop. I don't, for me, and I have friends that do Botox. It looks great if they do it right. I don't do anything else. I'm done. I am done with the surgery. I've had my teeth cleaned up a little bit, bonding, because I didn't like my teeth. I had a gaping gap in the middle. So those are the things that bothered me about myself. So I invested in that. And it wasn't to have my photo done. It was just to feel, it was for me. Because my husband said, you don't have to do that. Oh my God, I love you how you are. And I'm like, you know what? Thank you. I'm so grateful for that. But this has been bothering me for about 10 years,
Mm.
So I saved up some money and I did it, and I did it right. I did the aftercare, 4 days in a recovery center so I could have the doctors look in on me and the nurses and everything because it was a big deal. It's my face. And it came out freaking great. I feel fantastic. And that's what we do on this journey, right? And I feel like I'm more on brand. So now I'm 60, going to be 61 this year, and I look good, and I don't need any more. I'm good, I mean, you could always do more. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah,
So
I think there's a huge difference between the US and Europe because it's not very popular here to do face surgeries or plastic surgeries if it is not necessary. But I see that it's also kind of a cultural thing. Like, we have this idea that we need to be beautiful, and that wrinkles are not okay. And as you said, someone who's getting 35 and then is sorted out, sorry, yeah. Of course, our bodies are
Yep.
aging, but it depends, I think, so much on what we're putting into our body, what we're eating, how we take care of ourselves, and also what is the energy that is within us. Because if we're feeling good, if we have moments of gratitude and enjoyment, then of course this will show up differently in us, as we are always like, if you have people that are always angry and have like these wrinkles here, yeah, you can see that. And so the main emotion you're having for yourself or inside yourself will show up in your face, but also in the rest of the body. And you said doing photo shoots, especially also with mature women and men. So this is also, no, they have their story, of course, and this is what makes them often the expert, because they have gone through a traumatic time, and they're not speaking out of books, but they're speaking out of their own experience, and then of course the expertise and the wisdom they got with that. But this is also part of their how they look like. And I think this is important, because if you are a wise woman and you look like you're stretched like a 20-year-old, how can you connect with the right people then?
Well, here's the thing. If that is your look, you're going to connect with the others that have that look, and they're going to be your people. And that's going to be okay too. Like, so I'm way more, because we have cultural differences. I have a great understanding of that. And now like I said, I do believe in, if you want to, if there's something bothering you, that's really, like I have, when I had a makeup artist who breastfed two beautiful children, and she said her breasts looked like socks, and she was just didn't feel sexy anymore with her husband. So she went and she had a breast lift and some implants, and she felt sexy again. Her whole libido came back. So, and it wasn't about him, because I know for a fact he didn't pressure her at all. He loved her, but it was for her, it was for me. But there's also a level where you say, what do I accept? What do I accept about myself? Like, I'm a size 8 now. Now somebody may say, oh God, you bitch, shut up, you're a size 8. It's like, well, if you've gone from a size 2 to a 4 to an 8, and you've been very slim your whole life, and you were able to maintain that perfect little body and look fabulous in clothes, and all of a sudden you're heavy around the middle, and it's going to be there. You're going to have a little bit around your middle. That's it. You have to experience that. And for me, I experienced it, and I experienced it on a photo shoot. I said, I did a group day back when I used to do group days, and one of my clients got sick and she couldn't make, she called like 2 nights before and said, hey, I can't make the shoot. And I said, oh, okay. So I had an empty spot. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take that spot, because I feel heavy. I don't feel great. I have my styled outfits in the closet that I've done. I'm going to go in and do my own photo shoot, and I'm going to feel what it feels like not to feel my ultimate in front of the camera. And I put myself through my own program again. I did the hair. I did the hair and makeup. I got my nails done. I made sure everything was put together well, and I got in front of the camera, because those are steps to step onto that set, step into my light, and feel like I would connect. And I did. And the photos were really good. They were mature photos of me, but they were great. And I understood in moments of time. And there's, for instance, I have my assistants shoot me, and I give them practice shooting. And one of my assistants, I didn't like how I felt when this assistant shot me. And I had my other assistant shoot me, and we connected. So I felt great, and I felt really beautiful. So we shot. I do the best work with this particular assistant. I still use her because I think she's effing fabulous. So, and she shoots my video a lot. So she does my video, and she does my behind the scenes work, because I liked how I felt with her. So I use her, and I like her skill. Now, she's always working on her skill. She's young, but she's good. She's doing beautiful work now. So you need to connect with that photographer. So you need to have an interview. And also, when you're interviewing your photographer, I did want to say a few things about how to find the right photographer. And I'm actually going to be doing a blog on that shortly too. Make sure your photographer has a website. Okay. Many, the new guys, the people who are doing it part-time, the kids that are, they'll say, oh, you don't need a website. Look at my Instagram. They're not investing in their business. If they're not investing in their business, they're not going to invest in you. Websites are still a legitimate storefront. It's your digital storefront. It's your digital imprint. Google likes websites. We like websites because then we can see your best work. We can see the categories of what you like to do and what lights you up, and we see if it lights us up. So website, you want a social media presence. You want a social media presence on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're a TikTok person, TikTok. But don't just rely on social media because, so I love posting social media, and I like having a website because you can see I'm a full professional. I'm easy to find. There's somebody here. If you need something, we're going to make sure that happens for you. If you need some retouching, if you need things done, if you need to rush, all that's going to happen because we are professional business. Your photographer has to have pride in their business and be professional. So also, if you are a mature woman, make sure they have mature women on their website. If you see a site of naked models that are in their 20s and teens, like 18, sorry, chances are you're going to be a money job to this person. You're not going to be something that lights that person up. So you want to make sure that this person understands, skin tone, skin color, age, and also has a style that you like. Because that style, you have a brand, but that style is going to seep into the photo shoot. So you want to, like if they have a commercial style, I'm very commercial with my work. Like my work is like high-end commercial. It's what it is, it's advertising. And my work has been shown in magazines all over the world. It's been in Vogue. And what happens is this. If you want press photography, if you want book covers, if you want, high visibility, magazine work, Vogue magazine isn't going to send a photographer to you. Inc magazine, Wired magazine, they don't send photographers out unless even if you're celebrities, I get requests for my celebrity images because they're not sending photographers out because those magazines are on a shoestring budget, so they say. So they don't want to pay for your photography. You need to have camera ready work to publish. And if you have a photo of you up against a garage, that's not going to go into Marie Claire fashion magazine talking about, what service you offer to the world. So by working with public relations firms, some of the biggest in the world, we pre-create imagery that can be published anywhere. And that's what the branding part of the photography is your work can be your photos should be magazine ready. They should be cover story ready. They should be targeted towards the places that you want to be in the next, 4 years. And you need camera ready art that's retouched in a very elegant way. You don't want to over retouch your photos anymore. A lot of the amateurs are, you'll see someone, oh, my kid, he's just starting out. And you'll see this filter over, a woman who's, my age, right? And it's like, it looks ridiculous. It looks really weird. You look like it's all fuzzy right here. It's all fuzzy right here because this automatic blur tool comes up that they use on these filters. So I can see through filters like nothing. You need if you're going to retouch, you need to leave the character. You can clean up things, but you need to leave the character. So when you're picking a photographer, website, social media, you want to make sure they have a presence. You want to see what people are saying. You want to see how they react. Go to their Facebook page. And I go to their Facebook page when I'm interviewing people for assistant jobs. I go there and I see what their personalities are and if they're going to resonate with my clients because my clients are luxury clients. They have a certain type of service that they expect and they've grown to appreciate and depend on. And that's what I provide, that luxury service in a luxury language. And the last thing would be, are they interested in having a Zoom call and talking about your brand? Are they asking about your brand? Are they claiming that they can do branding and photography? And if they are claiming they can do branding and photography, have them explain that to you. What does that look like? What is your branding process? What does that mean? And if they don't want to share it with you, they're full of, you know what, or if they're not interested, or I only have 5 minutes, or, sometimes photographers, rightfully so, will say, I have a $250 consultation fee. If you book me, that goes to your photo shoot. That's acceptable too, because they're respecting their business. So a consultation fee is okay, but they need to be interested in your brand and your work, and they need to ask those really important questions, like what lights you up.
Yeah, and I think what is important is that people can recognize you not only on the photo, but also when they come on video with you or have a personal, like for me, one-on-one coaching here in Madeira. And I show up beautifully on these pictures, but it's not me, like you said, using filters or whatever happened with photoshopping. And they then meet me here on Zoom or here in Madeira, and I don't know this person. It's not Swanette. So I think this is also important, that you have to understand that you can look magnificent on these photos, and this is for sure, as it is for the branding, but it must still be you and your authentic self, because you will show up in other situations with this client as well.
Yeah. It needs to carry through. Your photo needs to carry through, like when you walk in a room. But also, do you really want to let yourself go after your photo shoot? Like what I did was, I have a regime. I have my brows done. My nails are always done. I have a skincare regimen, all of those things. And I also I had a makeup artist help me with my makeup. I had my stylist help with my clothes. So when I show up, I'm on brand. So I want to be that woman in that photo, because that woman in that photo is me. It doesn't overshadow me. It is me. And that's what we're walking out with. And that's what we're walking into the world with. And that's what people are relating to. So there needs to be, a photo shoot will up level you on a lot of ways. My hair color is always done. My hair is always done. I mean, we whiten the teeth, all of those things, because that's my brand. We're looking at people who are in the media, who are news broadcasters and people on shows and experts. And we kind of look at them and we're like, man, they look like they need a stylist. I mean, you could feel that they're not investing in themselves. I just want to be the best I could be, and know that in this life, I've put my best foot out. I have been given some wonderful gifts, and I want to keep growing with that. And that means for me is a personal style and maintenance that I enjoy and I have fun with. And now personal style doesn't have to be all gold lame and, right? It could be a beautiful white suit that you have on today, a white top, and a beautiful, like, and you have a sunny way about you, you know? And I think that your sunny island sort of way needs to come out in your brand too, you know? So but I think we just need to be the best we can be, for me. And that's what I do for my clients, and that's what I do for myself. And it's not fun. I enjoy having my nails done. I love that part of being a woman. And, sometimes getting your hair colored is a pain in the ass. You got to sit in the chair and you got to pay, good money to have a good stylist do your hair. And, every once in a while I'll book my stylist. I'll say, hey, I'm bored. Do you have any ideas? And we'll talk about it and decide if we need to go shopping together for a little bit, So sometimes we just need help, and we can't know everything. Like, why are we coloring our own hair? Why not go to a nail salon and have your nails done and a pedicure? It's also great personal health to have a pedicure, especially as we get older and our feet start giving us problems. So the pedicure is nice. So these are all self-care, self-love, and that's what your brand should reflect in your way. Are you bold? Are you boho? Are you chic? Are you global chic? Do you have a new style that hasn't been discovered yet? You know, it's like, that's all good. It's perfect because it's you and you're perfect the way you are. And if you don't get a surgery, and if you decide not to do certain things, that's okay. It's because it's perfect, because we're all perfect exactly where we are, exactly where we stand. But if we're going for a luxury brand and we're going for price points that are outside of our comfort zone, we need to step into that world and have a really good look around and look at ourselves in that world and say, where do we fit in? Like, are like even look at, like, I go to Rodeo Drive. I was just there in Beverly Hills yesterday, and I just do like brand walkthroughs, all the different boutiques. There's name boutiques that are fantastic, and there's this Dior and all these other boutiques that high-end brands. I walk through them. I walk through the Louis Vuitton. I take it in and I look around and I just take in that brand experience and I ask myself, am I giving that same brand experience? Does this brand experience resonate with me? What doesn't resonate with me is pretentiousness, is using fashion as a weapon, using beauty as a weapon, using art as a weapon, or using intelligence as a weapon. I don't believe in weaponizing our gifts. I believe in making them accessible to people who are interested in having them. So when I walk into a boutique and I have an appointment with a boutique owner, I expect them to be on time and to be happy to see me, because I am going to not only um, spend my money potentially, I'm going to bring clients in for styling sessions. I'm opening up a new program. It's like a VIP style session with me to go through Beverly Hills and just have a nice leisurely day of going to and shopping together and having a massage and a nice lunch and a beautiful hotel, just to take it all down. Nothing to learn, no notes to take. Just it's all about a visceral experience, a visceral beauty experience, and also having a good friend or someone who's going to be honest with you and tell you what's looking right and what's not. But I had one experience where a woman, she was perturbed that I was even interviewing her to work with her potentially. And then another woman couldn't wait to meet me and greeted me and asked me if I wanted water at the beginning of her boutique. That's my boutique. That's my luxury brand, is I want to know what you want to drink. And if I have an appointment with you, if you're coming to see me, I want to know if I can get down to the brand of tea that you like. I want to know what that is, because I have an Italian hostess in me, and it's really important for my people to feel comfortable and at home in the beauty. And I think that's part of the secret of my luxury brand is accessibility and not if how could you know everything I know? That's why you hired me. Let me walk you through it. And if also, my opinion, just my opinion, if you don't like something that I don't like, or something's not working on set, or if you're not feeling something, we change it. If you don't like your makeup, if when we get on set and you say, my makeup's a little heavy, it doesn't feel like me, and you're saying, I don't want to do eyelashes, can we take them off? Hell yes, take them off. We just had a woman we photographed a few weeks ago. She says, I love the makeup, but it's too much. It just doesn't feel like me. And I say, tell me where it's too much and we'll remove it. And she says, well, I like my eyes popping, but I think, maybe a little bit under my eyes. So we went in, my makeup artist was like, no problem. Let's get in the mirror, let's do this together. And we did. And she was really happy with the rest of the day, because she didn't have someone saying, oh, no, that looks good. That looks very good. You have to keep that. You don't know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking. You know here. And if you're not connecting here to your team, to your party that's coming, that you've invested in this party, you're the guest of honor. And if you're not feeling welcome at your own party, there's a problem. And the problem is not you. It's maybe in the choice. So you need to kind of weigh that out. And that's why I have that video, how to get ready for your photo shoot. And I also have the blog, how to find the right photographer. And that's why I'm talking about it today. Someone's got to be interested.
Yeah, so give me the links. I would like to put them here in the show notes. You can send them to me later on via email, because I'm sure that people are now so impressed and think, okay, the website I do have with the photos I do have at this moment, there is so much more possible, especially to really look brilliant. And this is so helpful, not only for myself feeling good, but also being attractive for my clients. So I'm sure people would like to reach out to you. Do you have a website that you can tell us, or social media where people easily can reach out to you?
I do. My website is starlafortunato.com, StarlaFortunato.com.
I will put it in the show notes so people can reach.
Okay, yeah, put the show, and then my Instagram is at Starla in LA. And I think the Instagram is a really great place to get my vibe, and my website is a great place to see my business. So I also have a Facebook page, just Starla Fortunato, and I just do a personal Facebook page. And on my Facebook page, you'll see more of my love for animals, dogs. You'll see a little bit more personal side of me, where Instagram is strictly portfolio and a little bit of personal, and the website's business. So you get a full picture of my business and my things that matter.
Yeah, and I see we connect with speaking about dogs and animal protection and being a foster. It's the same for me. You will find this in my Facebook as well. So is there anything that you would like to share that I didn't ask you?
I think you're so thorough, Swanette. I mean, you worry me a little bit because you have a way of getting people talking and getting us to reveal things that maybe we wouldn't have revealed. So you're actually very, very gifted that way. And you also touched upon something just in your work. You said that you had somebody who had some visibility issues. And can you remind me of that conversation? I think you may have, you spoke about it in our container, on our icons container. It was someone had a visibility problem, something had happened, you did some past life regression and
Yeah.
discovered something. Can you share about that? That was fascinating.
Yeah, so this was a client who was afraid speaking on stage. And it was really not only that she was kind of having this tickling in the stomach, but it was really that she said her brain was going blank and she sometimes couldn't even remember her name. And so we worked about this topic in the present time and looked what has happened, like have there been traumas, and figured out that there was a moment when she was bullied in school because she couldn't do a calculation at the board, and another situation like speaking a poem during Christmas time in front of her family. So, and some other situations, we cleared that out. And then we went into her ancestral line, and from her mother's side, something was coming that they were not allowed to speak loud in front of the family, like, no, be quiet as a child, and something like that. So there was something coming like not being allowed to speak out. So we cleared that out, and still it was not really getting so much better. And so we did a little bit of behavioral training, like how to act on stage and no, kind of these things, and got a little bit better, but not really. And then I said, let me look into your Akashic records. So these are the library of the soul with every experience you ever had. It's kind of written in there. And as soon as she opened the Akashic Records, I could see her standing on a wooden stage in front of her people, were laughing and clapping and yeah, go on, go on. And she had a cord around her neck. And the next moment she was hung. And so for her, it was like every time she was going on stage equals death. People looking at me and even being happy and clapping means I'm going to die. So this was like stage equals death. And what we did was like we wrote this story, we cleared this energetical cord to this present time, and you could see within a very short time that the problem was solved, because this was the main root of the problem. Everything else was also part of the problem, but not the main cause. And so for her, it was a massive transformation, because also being a consultant, it was necessary not only to sit around with other people and speak, or perhaps even having a presentation, being in front of the table, but going on a stage and speaking, and especially also speaking on Zoom stages now is super easy because there is nothing anymore connected, but also really in person stepping on a stage is fine for her now. And also for her doing like photo shootings was like, I can't do that. Like now when people are staring at me, it's like, wow, no, I can't stand that. Now she's going to do that. So this is what is happening when people feel like they're totally stuck in a topic and don't know what is going on, especially becoming visible. And this is often for people that have been healers or coaches or consultants, energy workers, even doctors. So people that work at the moment somehow in this context often are old souls. So they have a history in their soul of moments where they have been killed, or they have been have had massive traumas, or have been tortured. And if this connection is not deleted, it can still be active.
I was really moved by that, because I went to talk in front of a group of 200 people and I whited out. And I thought of you. Like as soon as I stood up, as soon as she handed me that microphone, I whited out. Like I remember, so I remember, so I said, the next time she hands you the microphone, I'm going to tell her thank you. And I'm going to stay present. And I'm going to take a breath and just and work through it. But you said something when you brought it up that day. I thought, wow, this woman is powerful and she knows her stuff, and I just love your work, and I think you're a remarkable woman, and I can't wait to see what you come up with your brand. Very exciting. I think it's super exciting right now for you, and you have so much to give and so much mastery, and I love that you're balanced. You know, I know you have your science side, and I know you have your, I want to call it your artistic side, your healer side. So you have that beautiful balance, and I think that is it's a fantastic place to pivot. You can pivot either way. So it's a real blessing to have, you know, you on this planet with us. So, and thank you for your time and for looking me up. I'm excited to keep working with you in our other container too. And I'll get the as soon as I'm finished with the blog, it's going to come with a video also. As soon as I'm done with that, I will share it if you'd like to with you. Happy, and photography tips, photo tips.
Yeah, absolutely.
How to pick. It's an article. Yeah, I'll get that over to you. I'll make sure I do.
Perfect. So it was so amazing and such an honor to speak with you today and having you as a guest. Thank you so much for giving me and my audience all this time. Thank you, Starla.
Thank you. Thank you, Swanette. We'll keep in touch. Bye.
Bye. Ciao. Thank you for listening or watching my podcast, Holistic Creators. If you want to know more about how I can help and support you, have a look at my website, spiritualchangemaker.com. You can also join my Facebook group, Spiritual Changemakers Community. Stay tuned for the next episode by subscribing to this channel. And you also can check the previous episodes.